Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and you're tuned in to the #1 informative program. We have lots more in store for you after this break.
Here's an important reason you need to avoid or limit alcohol consumption. The World Health Organization (WHO) indicates that there is research evidence of a direct link between several cancers and alcohol consumption as a major contributing factor. It's being cited as a major contributing fact for cancer of the breast, colorectal, esophagus, liver, mouth, throat or pharynx, and voice box or larynx. There is no safe level of alcohol consumption, and the more you consume, the greater your risk. Protect your health. Limit your alcohol intake. Save your life. For help and more information, call the National Council on Drug Abuse (NCDA) at 876-564-HELP. That's 876-564-4357.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. For many Jamaicans, owning land is a meaningful goal. But before titles are granted, land and boundary surveying play a vital role in defining boundaries and ensuring legal clarity. To help us break it all down, we're joined by Wainworth Hamilton, Senior Director of Surveys and Mapping at the National Land Agency. Welcome to Get the Facts, Sir Hamilton.
Thank you very much.
Let's jump right into getting some facts here now. So, can you explain to us what exactly is a boundary survey?
A boundary or cadastral survey is a survey undertaken to define, to describe, or to redescribe property boundaries, which essentially feeds into the final delivery of a pre-checked plan, which is a plan checked and certified by the NLA.
Okay, so, and in relation to a land title, if there is no proper understanding of the boundaries of the land and how you can get a title for it.
Right, so the approved diagram is one of the supporting documents for an application for title. It really outlines the extent of possession or interest, so the registration professionals can understand what is the extent of the ownership we're trying to enshrine or document.
Right, right. And of course, that would be in relation to other land around it as well, because other people usually have stuff around.
Adjoining lands.
Right. Got it. So if I do a boundary survey, that's not me getting the title for the land, is it?
No, land titling is a separate item from cadastral survey. So boundary surveys really feed into the registration process. The parcel is described mathematically and graphically, and the registration, which is surveying, and the registration process is really documenting and enshrining the rights of persons within the confines of those boundaries.
Right. We said legal clarity.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, so tell me, how long is a boundary survey valid for?
Well, the boundary survey is valid for 7 years. The limitations of actions articulates that over 7 years, the commission survey is required to complete a declaration, which is really a statement under oath that I have checked and certified that the boundaries on ground are as described on the diagram.
Right.
If there's any deviation, then a new diagram has to be prepared and enters the checking and certification process all over again.
So let me see if I get this clear. I've done a boundary survey for this parcel of land. When 7 years pass, if I am to do anything with that boundary survey, anything that requires a survey, I can't use that old 7-year one without the declaration.
Without the declaration, no.
Saying that the boundaries are the same.
Right.
And I have seen, Sir Hamilton, a lot of those boundary markers, some little piece of iron sometimes. Easy to get lost, easy to be moved. So you're saying if the boundary survey is, if we do that check to see where the boundary markers are and they have moved, we can't just update the survey. It has to be done from scratch.
There has to be that survey diagram that you have now is not any longer representing the marks on the ground.
Yeah.
Because of the changes.
Got it.
So you need a new diagram now to be consistent with what is on the ground.
Got it. All right, help me out with some differences here again now. Surveyor's report, boundary survey.
All right, so the surveyor's report is really a comparative analysis. You're comparing what is documented let us say you have a title.
Right.
You are checking on ground if the conditions on ground match what is on the title. So there are restrictive covenants outlining the terms and conditions under which you enjoy or use this property.
Restrictive covenants.
Right. So there are some rules under which you own. So it's not absolute ownership. There are rules under which you own.
All right.
You can't build to certain distance, to boundaries, front boundaries, side boundaries. Those are all articulated on your certificate of title. The use of the property, what is it to be used for? And the surveyor will check, in the case of a surveyor's report, if your usage, the terms and conditions, the measurements of boundaries, all that is enshrined on the title is on ground the same. If not, the deviations are to be stated.
Right. I want to jump in here though. I know you're not finished the difference between survey and boundary survey, but are you saying that how a land, let me ask it a different way, how we intend to use a bit of land determines how the boundaries are set up?
The usage and the enjoyment of the property is governed by zoning. So a property may be zoned for residential purposes,
Right.
which the description of boundaries as concrete wall is the same, but the usage, the use case is different.
Okay. Okay, I understand now. Please,
Right,
can
so
finish up.
the survey, so we're looking at the difference between diagram, the survey diagram and the report. The survey diagram is essentially a description of parcels.
Right.
What is owned, how far is this extent of property, how much, exactly where it is, the nature of boundaries, physical boundaries, stone wall, concrete wall, etc. So this is really a comprehensive description, technical description of what this land is, where it is,
Right.
how it is situated.
Got it.
Whereas the surveyor's report summarily is just checking what is enshrined versus what is on ground.
Ah, okay. So one almost lays out what is there, and one checks that what has been laid out prior is still there.
Or if it is not there, we state the differences.
I understand, I understand. All right, we are at the break, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't let the heat beat you down. Extremely hot days can affect your health, causing heat stress and heat stroke. Protect yourself. Seek sheltering from the sun and limit outdoor activities to mornings and evenings. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting, breathable fabrics. Hydrate with cool water and avoid sweetened drinks and beverages that contain alcohol. Don't let the heat beat you down.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're continuing our discussion on land surveying, what it is, why it matters, and how it affects land ownership in Jamaica. Still with us is Wainworth Hamilton, Senior Director of Surveys and Mapping at the National Land Agency, helping us better understand the process. Now, let's turn to some of the more complex situations that can arise. And when I say complex, I mean people situations. Let me pose some situations to you. A neighbor or somebody nearby objects to the land survey being done. Because if I understand the physical aspect of a land survey, sometimes access has to be granted to adjoining lands to determine boundaries of this parcel. So what does anybody do? Neighbor says, don't want you over here.
Well, the Land Surveyors Act and Regulation permits an interested party to object to a survey legally. There's a prescribed form that you go about the objection, but once an objection is lodged against a survey, then that essentially brings the proceedings to a halt. And for this reason, the surveyor is required by law to notify all the interested persons of the survey, thus giving them an opportunity, if they so desire, to object. But once that objection is lodged to the surveyor within the prescribed format, then that essentially brings the survey to a halt.
I'm glad you underlined within the prescribed format. So just saying, me don't want you for my land. Just cursing off the surveyor
Right.
on the moment
Right.
doesn't actually formulate a legal objection.
No, because that cannot be proven outside of that
Right.
occurrence.
Okay. Sir Hamilton, when you say comes to a halt, it means that the survey can't happen? There's no way around this?
No, the survey stops immediately.
So then that other, the party who is interested in the survey can't get that title or
No,
anything?
the matter is then referred to the authority above, which is the Director of Survey and Mappings, to arbitrate. And if that process fails, this can go all the way to the court.
Okay, so there's escalation
Right.
and
There's
arbitration.
escalation mechanisms.
All right, happy to hear that. So let's get even deeper. Now, it's not even that he's your neighbor. You inherit a piece of land. Maybe you haven't been in the country for a while. And somebody who is already on the land. I don't know, in my scenario, I don't have the legality of them being on the land. But let's say it's legal, or another family member, and they don't want the survey to happen. How is that handled?
Well, let us put this out here first. The fact that you are occupying gives you an interest in the property. So the interest is not just restricted to owners.
Right.
So the fact that you are occupying has to be respected as interest in land. So you therefore have the right to object.
Same objection process.
And it's treated with exactly the same way.
Wow.
So the survey is not duty bound to determine if your case of occupation is legitimate or not. That's not our job.
Okay.
Once you turn up and there's an objection by an occupier, it has to be respected and treated within much the same way as the owner would.
Right, right. Is there any scenario in which an objection is made? We have underlying legality, you know. We have underlying legality on the form. But let me ask anyway, if an objection is made, is there any scenario in which the survey still goes ahead and the plan submitted?
We want to think no, but realistically, there are few instances. And it's really brings to the fore a disciplinary matter. So if persons have been notified, turned up, and objects to the survey, then legally that survey should stop. If it continues, then that is a case now where if that is proven, the end game of that process is really disciplinary matters through the land surveyor's disciplinary committee. That's how far it can get, because you have contravened my right to halt the survey.
Disciplinary action against the surveyor?
Against the surveyor.
Against the surveyor. All right. For people who have more questions about this whole survey process, actually I do have one more question before we go there, because we're almost at the end of the interview. When the survey happens and I receive my plan, what then do I do?
All right, so you have received what we refer to as a pre-checked plan, which meaning it has gone through the processes of the NLA, checked and certified. That now, and I'm glad you raised that question, because Jamaicans think once I have this diagram, then I'm good.
Right.
But that really is one of the documents required to register your property. And registration really is the enshrinement and official documentation of your legal interest in land, which is usually depicted as the certificate of title. So what you really want to sit down with is a certificate of title.
Okay.
And not necessarily a diagram. A diagram is just a description of the property, mathematically and graphically. So you need to progress that now to registration, and that is one of the documents underpinning that application.
Where do I go for registration?
The Office of Titles.
Office of Titles, right. Office of Titles. There are so many more questions we could ask, and I know all those who are watching have many of those questions and they'd like to pitch them to the NLA. Where can they go to get more info? Well,
the website, www.nla.gov.jm. If you want to turn up to deal with the wonderful customer service folks at the NLA, all things surveys and mapping, you may turn up to 23.5 Charles Street. You may email your questions at asknla@nla.gov.jm. And you may call us on one of the numbers listed on the website. So there's chat lines, there's helplines for all your queries.
Easy access, no need to be operating in the dark. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest is Wainworth Hamilton, Senior Director of Surveys and Mapping at the National Land Agency. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
We continue our healthy journey by exercise. This week, Mr. Rainford is helping us to work on the midsection, our abs and core. Let's go work out.
The following exercise video is for information purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Before starting any new exercise program, physical activity, or fitness routine, please consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional.
Hello everyone, my name is Dominic Rainford. Welcome to A Better You. Today we'll be working abs and core, and with me today we have Ali. Alright guys, so warming up, very important. Why it's very important to warm up? Because we need to get the blood flowing in the body. We need to get the ligaments and the tendons loose so that once we work out, we mitigate injuries, right? Alright guys, so we're starting with abs and core. The abs, the core muscles in general, are the most important muscles in the body. Without it, we're unable to move freely. Even simplest things as getting up out of the bed, almost impossible without the core. So we're starting off with crunches so that we can start to get the muscles working and get them stronger eventually. All right, so right here we have Ali performing the crunch, where we have the hands behind the head and she's curling her upper body, taking her shoulder blades off the ground. 1, slowly, 2. As she goes down, she breathes in. As she comes up, breathes out. After that, we go straight into ankle touches, where we bring the foot back, right? Curl up and touch the ankles. After that, she rests. Then we go straight into knee raises, where she brings her knees all the way up, both knees, all the way up, and touch the ground. So keep the knee bent, back down, touch the ground, right? And that's for the lower half of the abdominal. So the first one we started with the crunches, it's the upper. The toe touches, it's the outer. Now we're hitting the lower. Guys, where working out at home is concerned, anything at home you can use for a good workout. For example, a pillow. Ab exercise, let's go, yes. Take it off, stretch out, up, down, up. All right, our next exercise now will be passing the pillow under the legs. Up, right. We can do 10 that way and 10 the other way now. 10 the other way now. We call this one toe taps, where we hands like this, push up position, go a little higher. Then we come back and touch each toe. 1. One more. We can do mountain climb. Very easy, but very effective. Get into the position just like this. Mountain climbers. We'll just do this. Bringing the knee up as high as possible. Go for 20 reps, 10 on each leg. 3 sets. Tempo can be moderate. Go as fast as you comfortably can. Or you can go faster, depending on where you are in your fitness journey. Tip for today, eating habits. We want to eat more protein like your eggs, chickens, fish, beef, pork. That's protein. You want to eat more veggies, you want to eat more fruits, and less carbs, less rice, less yam, less sweet potato. So after a good workout, it's always important to stretch. So we have Ali, we just finished abs and core. So we're going to show you 2 moves that we can use to really stretch those areas effectively. All right, so Ali, first thing we're going to do, we're going to put our hands directly under our shoulders, just like this. And then keeping our hips on the ground, we're going to want to push all the way up. Another way of doing it as well, another way to stretch, it's a yoga move, it's called cat and cow. Very important. Come up on all fours like this. You're gonna drop your back, just like this. And you're gonna bring it up. Again, down, hold it, go as low as you can, arch your back, low as you can, then bring it up. Curving the spine, just like this. Thank you, Ellie.
Big up.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Stay fit.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. In moments of anger, we tend to think, fight fire with fire. But obviously the result is a riotous blaze both parties may find difficult to put out. Take a lesson from Brother King and meet hate with love. The result will leave both parties satisfied and with peace that surpasses all understanding. That's it for your Sunday afternoon detox. See you next time.
Previously on My Mind and Me.
If we're looking for some signs, I would say if you're mentally unhealthy and you've tried relaxation techniques, you've tried the self-care, you've tried stress management and it's not working, that would be a great time to get some professional help to help you get your mental health back. Mental health is a different concept from mental illness, although we use them as an umbrella term. Being mentally healthy means that you are able to be flexible, to adjust to the challenges of life.
And it is important to do what we can to ensure our own mental health.
Small daily habits that can help to maintain or attain good mental health include being able to pause when you need to. We find ourselves going consistently throughout the day, and if we don't pause, that's a challenge. So it's important to know when to pause.
Pause right there. Find ways to help you figure out the challenge you're having. You can
use STOP as an acronym. STOP, it means stop whatever you're doing. Take stock of what's happening to you. Take deep breaths. When you observe what's happening to you at O, then you proceed, but you address what you found at O. So if when you stopped, took the breaths, you observe that you're hungry, then we would say proceed and go and get something to eat. And deep breaths, for instance, help you in the pause. Not the ones where your chest goes up and you actually didn't take a breath.
And something else we can do,
I like to call it the 3-3-5. So you inhale through your nose and count to 3, hold it and count to 3, and then you exhale through your mouth and you count to 5. 3 sets of that, and usually it gives you a moment to just decompress and to think about the what next. Other small things could be those things that relax you. Is it having a devotion? Is it being able to have sometimes your one little favorite meal for lunch today? Is it being able to check on somebody? Is it, for instance, going home early today? Is it about watching your show? Is it having an hour of me time and doing absolutely nothing? Those are some things that could help every day.
Take little breaks.
If you feel stressed, what you need to do is turn your phone off. Get away from social media. Things like that help you to manage your stress. Do you find yourself having, let's say, your heart racing? Then it means you probably need to do some deep breathing. Do you find yourself feeling very anxious? Sometimes, especially our students, when you have to go out for school. What are the things you can do in the moment that settles you and helps you to respond better? Because we can't get rid of the stress. So it's going to be about the management. So figure out how you respond and figure out a better way to respond until you are able to resolve the stress or the anxiety.
And try self-care.
Mentally, there's absolutely no way to overemphasize that. Self-care, self-care, self-care. And don't let anybody fool you, it's not selfish. Do small things for yourself every day. Katie Reed says self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. So look at it from that perspective. You want to fill yourself up so that you're able to put back into what you need to put into. Nowadays, we're panicky for our cell phones are going to die and we have to get it charged. Consider yourself a personal cell phone for your self-care and make sure you're always fully charged. Self-care can include going to the barber, going to the hairdresser, maybe getting your nails done. But a lot of people do those things because it has to be done. Don't make those things your only self-care things that you do. It needs just a little bit more than that. I would say to anybody who finds themselves being mentally unhealthy or perhaps experiencing what may look like a mental illness or someone they know, to get help. Nothing is wrong with trying on your own. So there's nothing that prevents you from recognizing what coping mechanisms you can use. Coping mechanisms are not one size fits all. So maybe what works for somebody won't work for you, and nothing prevents you from trying. So think about the things that you'd like to get done. Get a massage, go to the beach, have a nature walk, talk to somebody, journal, pray, have devotions. If those things aren't working, then I would encourage somebody to get professional help. They are trained, it's their job. They will figure out how to help you figure out what's the best way to move forward. There are mental health clinics in all our parishes. We have a suicide line and a mental health line at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And they also have an email address. We have Family Life Ministries that offers counseling. We have Rise Life, and they offer specific help for suicide and substance abuse. We have the women's centers who have opened places for women who are being abused. And we have UNICEF has a WhatsApp number that helps adolescents up to young adults. And the last thing that we've had, somebody in Jamaica has created an app called Let's Talk About It.
We've come to the end of today's show. I do hope that you enjoyed this package. To catch a repeat of this or any other, feel free to log on to our website at gis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.